So in our case file in Shasta County Superior Court, case number 194478. Okay, in the case file, I got copies of the case file in January 2024. Okay, January, February. All right, I went through those case files and records have been changed. Court orders and court minutes have been changed, and uh, the summary of court proceedings was changed. Okay, it was changed to say that I didn't sign consent for therapy for my kids to go to therapy. Okay, that was never the argument. From the very beginning, I wanted my kids to go to therapy from the very beginning because my kids were traumatized. They were messed up, man, from being abducted and kidnapped from Sacramento County. They were totally traumatized. All me and my three kids have been traumatized by being separated and my kids being taken away from Sacramento. Right? I had requested therapy, and I wanted Shasta County Superior Court to pay for it because they're the ones that made the decision to grant her a restraining order for no reason. Okay? And this Judge Gibson, got pissy about it because I asked the county to fucking pay for the therapy, and he got all pissy, and so he started to change records and started to change the narrative to make me look like a bad person so that he could take my kids away. And I'm going to prove it because I have copies of all the case files from the very beginning, as well as I have the new copies of the case file that have been changed recently. And I have proof and evidence of every single thing that was said about me in those case files is complete nonsense and it's total farce. It's total nonsense and lies. And it's defamation of character. And this Judge Gibson is trying to destroy my reputation and character and credibility so I can't get my kids back. And the reason why he doesn't want me to have my kids back is because, and this is disgusting, is because my kids were molested up here in Shasta County, molested multiple times, and the Shasta County's tried to cover it up the entire time. And not only that, but there's a lot of people that are aware of this aware that he's been doing this, and he went through the case file basically specifically to make me look like a bad parent so he could justify taking my kids. Okay? So in that case file right now, and I'll try to show some of the court orders from 2021. In that case file right now, it says that Mr. Snyder, Jacob, didn't want to sign consent for therapy for his kids. Now in law and in family law, legally, that is like it's a reason to take your kids away. Okay, reasons to take custody from a custodial parent would be missing school days, kids missing school days, right? Not participating in therapy if it was court ordered, not taking your kids to the doctor, medical appointments and stuff like that, not taking care of your kids in general, and or abuse and neglect, right? And if it was court ordered therapy and you refused, then the judge would have a justification to take your kids. Okay, so what Judge Gibson did is he went through the case files and he changed all the court minutes and court proceedings, the court hearings, to his narrative, or to basically say that I wasn't being a good parent or a suitable parent, so that he could justify taking my kids. And then not only that, but I asked the state attorney general's office to investigate this judge and this family law case, and that's why Judge Gibson took my two youngest kids away from me in October 2021 and changed all the court records and case files just in case somebody came and investigated this case. Because if a judge is doing that, if a judicial officer is doing those things, that's highly against the law. It's not misconduct, okay? It's not a judicial error, okay? It's somebody breaking the law to abduct children. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with the legal system or getting a lawyer or having, it's not a custody dispute anymore or a civil action. It has none of that shit. It's this judge kidnapping children. Because by law, he can't do that. He can't change records to avoid investigation. But not only that, he can't change records to control the narrative of the case or control the outcome. That's against the law, to say the least, okay? It's disgusting. But anyways, in the case file, 194478, all right, it says that I was refusing to sign up my kids for therapy and refusing to take them to therapy appointments, okay, because we were court ordered to take the kids to family dynamics therapy, right? I never refused, and I signed consent. But not only that, I want to show this proof right here. He's saying that I was refusing to take my kids to therapy in September of 2021 and October of 2021. This is from Churn Creek Health Care Center, okay, in Reading, right? And this says right here, on February 23rd, 2021, to whom it may concern, Jay Snyder is currently under my medical care and may not return to school at this time. Please excuse Jace for 1 day. Now, this is an appointment with a psychiatrist, and this is a school note for him to miss the day. Now, look, the date, 2/23/21. 2/24/21. Now look at what it says. It says, if you require any additional information, please contact our office. And then it says, signed sincerely, provider, Dr. Aziz, MD, and this date. Okay? And it says this is basically generated by Krista Bowman. Now this doctor right here, Dr. Aziz, is the psychiatrist at Healthcare Churn Creek Healthcare Center. And I signed my son up to therapy and with a psychiatrist and counseling at Churn Creek Healthcare Center. This is almost a year. This is 8 months prior to this judge lying about me in court proceedings. Lying about me. Basically saying that I'm not signing up for mediation. I'm not signing up for therapy. I'm not taking my kids to school. He's saying all those things about me just to justify that he could take my kids away. And not only that, but he knows that I contacted the state attorney general's office in August. And he knows that my kids were molested. And so he's lying about me and saying these things. And here's the proof right here that I'm a good parent. I signed my kid up for therapy. Right here, February 23rd, 2021. My son's going to see a psychiatrist, right? Talk to a psychiatrist. This says right here, new primary care provider, Mr. Snyder. Please be advised that you have been assigned to Krista Creedon as your new primary care physician. Please call this number to schedule an appointment, okay? This is for me and my son. Look, it says Jace. February 18th, 2021. Jace. Wow, that's crazy. Look, February 18th. February 18th, I signed him up for with a new primary care physician. The 23rd, I signed him up to a psychiatrist. Now this is from Shasta Community Health Center in Anderson, and the reason why I signed him up with a new primary care physician was because the doctor up in Reading that he was seeing was lying about him being abused at his mom's house. Her name was Dr. Huff, and she happens to be a family friend or a friend of my ex-wife's. Matter of fact, I think my ex-wife babysat her when she was little or something like that. So Dr. Huff in Shasta County Community Health Center was lying for my wife and basically covering up them being abused at her house. Okay, so I had to take my son away from the Reading Shasta Community Health and signed him up with a new doctor down in Anderson so that he could start talking to a doctor about what was going on at his mom's house, being abused there, and talk about the fact that he was, abducted from Sacramento County, and this judge, Judge Gibson, is the one that granted her the restraining order against me for no reason. So Shasta County Superior Court, as well as like the district attorney's office and social services and family dynamics therapy, One Safe Place, all these people that have been involved in my kids' lives for the past 7 years, they've all lied and made up stories. And the reason why they lied, I mean, it's very logical. I mean, I guess it's not logical, but it's very it's common sense, right? They don't want to go to prison. They don't want to go to jail. They've been breaking the law and changing records and breaking the law to control the kids' environment, right? They won't allow them to leave to go to Sacramento, right? And They're the ones making these decisions. So by law, it's a conflict of interest. And not only that, but I've been trying to take my kids back to Sacramento, back to court, trying to contact the FBI, the State Attorney General's office, Sacramento County Sheriff's Department, everybody. I've called Redding Police Department, Anderson Police Department, Sheriff's Department in Shasta County, the marshals. I've talked to everybody to try to get them to arrest her for kidnapping and abduction and let me take my kids back to Sacramento. And you know the only reason why they won't do it? A domestic violence restraining order that Judge Gibson granted her 5 years ago. And it wasn't even this court's jurisdiction. So this is paperwork from Sacramento County, okay? This says parentage, custody, and support. This is a summons. I'm just going to show you the summons real quick, and then and then that's it. But I have all the original paperwork from Sacramento County. This is filed on October 14th, 2016, all right? It's a summons for a court date for this case right here. All right? Now look at this right here. This is just a copy, but look, it's sealed. It has a stamp of approval. Superior Court of California, County of Sacramento. That's the state seal right there, and the court clerk stamps that damn thing when you sign up the paperwork. Now listen, this is a very important part of this case, okay? And this is very important to understand, right? Do you see how that line on the bottom right there is missing? Okay? Look at the line right there. It's all good right there, right? Nothing, no problem, right? Look at the line right here. What happened? Why does it look like that? 10/14/16, that's when I filed this paperwork, right? Now look. This would be the date of receiving the paperwork, all right? And signed by the deputy clerk by such and such, right? And this is this signature, right? This would be my address right here. And basically it's a summons, right? Somebody changed it. And somebody whited this out, and they turned it back into Sacramento County Courthouse, and that's forged. I didn't do that. And this is a copy. Look at the lines up here, okay? This is a copy from Sacramento County. All right? Now the truth is, in the legal process and the legal way to file paperwork in Sacramento County, and I believe every county in California, is when you turn your paperwork in, okay, the court clerk dates this right here when she signs it. That's why there's a seal right here, all right? So she stamps the seal, and then she puts the date right here, and she stamps it with the stamp, with the date stamp. It doesn't, you don't write it in, okay? She doesn't write it in. I don't write it in. It's stamped, right? And somebody went through and they changed it and they whited out the bottom, all right? For some reason they put the 14th there. I'm not quite sure. I imagine that it was a different date. And then this right here is the signature of the court clerk. All right. Usually that's certified as well. They'll stamp that with a certification stamp of this particular clerk. All right. It's usually stamped like right here or right here with a red stamp. These are copies that I got from Sacramento County. If somebody went through the case files and they changed this, that's forged. That's forged documents. So somebody's been doing that, not me, and that's illegal. But not only that, they're changing the dates and times of these incidents because of the abduction of my children. Now, this is very important, okay? This is a summons to court dates. That means I filed the paperwork in Sacramento County. There's custody hearing in Sacramento County, and that means Sacramento County's jurisdiction over this case. Period. There's no argument over that. No argument. Once you file the paperwork in Sacramento County, custody, you live there. I had to show proof of residency and everything. Like I had to show proof that we lived, I had to show mail and stuff that from my address. That's the jurisdiction over this case. All right? No matter what. And we had court dates in Sacramento County, and Kendra Snyder never showed up. Okay? And the reason why she didn't show up, this is classic right here. The reason why she didn't show up was because they said that she was she was too scared to show up for court. She was terrified of her life, terrified of me. Like, at a courthouse, I mean, that's ridiculous. But not only that, they went, like somebody, maybe some of these judges, maybe a court clerk, went back and changed the record, dude. Changed the dates. And that's illegal. Okay? This is another piece of, another thing that I filed down there. I said, I request that the child abduction prevention orders requested on Form 3112 be approved. And that's signed and dated. Okay? That by me. Right? And that is petition for custody of minor children. Now, on the 28th in October, we had court. We had a court date. I went there. I showed up. I know. I remember the day. It was with Judge McBride. All right? This court clerk writes a letter to my ex-wife after this, and she writes this letter and she sends it to a Miss Givens. Miss Givens works for One Safe Place. She's an advocate for One Safe Place. All right? And not only that, but this is what this says right here. It's basically from this clerk on November 1st, and it says, the restraining order you received on the 28th has been amended by the court. Please throw away the copies you left in the courtroom and use these in their place. The amended order has also been scanned to the CLEATS database system. The restrained party is required to be served a copy of the restraining order. Now, listen to this. This is very important, right? Miss Givens showed up on the 28th with the restraining order against me, and the restraining order against me from Shasta County. And she basically, this One Safe Place and this advocate filled out another restraining order from Sacramento and tried to file it on the 28th. Okay? The judge looked at that paperwork, this court clerk looked at the paperwork, and the judge decided basically, no, I'm going to amend this order. This is ridiculous. And I want to see the kids in court. That was the judge's main concern from the very beginning. He wanted to see the kids come back to Sacramento County so he could see him and talk to him. He told Miss Givens basically, how do I know if they're alive or not? The same thing I've been asking for the past year and a half. How do I even fucking know they're alive, dude? If you won't let anybody talk to them. So this is Miss Givens, and she works for One Safe Place. All right. Now look at the next page. It says it's very clear right here. There's no argument right here. Listen, that basically the court clerk under above named court is certified in that certified by the state of California, and it says right here, and on the date shown below, mailed an amended restraining order by depositing true copies thereof, sealed envelopes with postage fully paid for by the U.S. United States Mail of Sacramento. Now look at what it says. Each envelope was addressed respectfully to the person and address shown below. Now, the amended order has also been scanned to the CLEATS database system, and it says the restrained party is required to be served a copy of the restraining order. The restrained party is being served a copy of the restraining order. And this clerk puts it in an envelope, respectfully, in person, and address, and shown below. Kendra Snyder. That was the restrained party. That is the restrained party. That is, and she says she declares under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the state of California, that the foregoing is true. She put the restraining order that was amended. Okay, the amended restraining order was against me, right? One Safe Place and Miss Givens, they brought down a restraining order from Shasta County. They said that I was the restrained party, and Judge McBride flipped out. He was pissed. And he said that Kendra Snyder had court dates. She was supposed to bring the kids back, and she didn't. And so he amended the order, and he basically sent it back with Miss Givens, and then mailed it to Kendra that there's a restraining order against her now, and she's the restrained party against my kids. Like my kids are protected against from her, right? God bless.